ISO TC207 is the International Environmental Standards Organization worldwide. We have over 50 countries here and another 70 or so who are interested in what's happening here, all of whom are trying to build environmental standards for around the world at this time. And we have a whole series of groups at work in different areas of the environment, and we have a whole group of different topics that we're trying to address with those standards. Well, there were two or three things that were very important to us. First of all, we're very concerned that there be the kind of facilities that we have here in Lyon. And in particular, a convention center such as the Plenaria, which we're in today and which we're so grateful for. This is one of the finest facilities we've ever met in any of the countries of the world. So that was a major consideration for our choosing Lyon in connection with it. Secondly, we are very interested in Lyon because it is such a historic city. In Lyon or in the surrounding cities, you have the bicentennial celebrations of independence, you have the centennial of the revolution. Most interesting for our people to come away from Mexico with a sense of the history of Mexico in connection with it. And lastly, Lyon is a big enough city that it has the kind of communication facilities and other things that we look for in terms of, and it's over 1 million population and the communications is excellent here. So those are sort of three reasons why we particularly chose it, but above all we chose Lyon because of this excellent facility that we're meeting in. What we need is, in addition to the big rooms for the plenary of all our 200 plus delegates who are here, we need 20 or 25 smaller rooms where people can work from in terms of their individual sessions. So at any one time there may be 10 or 20 individual sessions going on in different rooms, and yet at the same time we all have to convene back to the big plenary rooms. So having both those kinds of things really helps. So this facility has turned out to be really good for us from that point of view, because we've assigned to each of our different committees or task force an individual room for the whole time, and that's been very helpful. The organization that went into this was so good in terms of providing what we needed. So these are all part of the reasons why we're very happy with the meetings that have taken place this week and the meetings ahead for the rest of the week, because it's been a very friendly, it's been a very efficient, it's been a very professional organization that we were dealing with here. It not only meets international standards, it's very high in terms of international standards. We have found that the performance here exceeded our expectations. It wasn't, so we're very happy about that.
En cuanto a la logística, la cuestión de cómo se planificó, cuáles fueron las situaciones, hemos recibido todo el apoyo, siendo gente muy profesional, la que nos ha estado colaborando para que este evento pudiera llevarse a la práctica como es hoy en día.
On climate change, where Mexico is a leader, we will be bringing forward new resolutions and new standards on the work on climate change. And this is so appropriate because Mexico is hosting the world in November and December for the Kyoto process at Cancun. And the Mexican president is a world leader today in terms of trying to do this. So our work fits in on climate change and greenhouse gases to that. Secondly, we've seen some very important progress here, especially with the support of some of our African and our Asian members on the water issues and building water standards and land degradation where drought conditions may be. The last point I just wanted to touch on was that in fact there are about 20 other areas of environmental management whereby by the time we get to Saturday, we will be making improvements. And these improvements will be helping hundreds of companies here in Mexico who are working with us on these standards. And that will help their products sell in the world, because when they use the ISO label in going into the American market or going into the European market, then those consumers, those countries know the environmental standards that those products are meeting, and it cuts back on the chance that tariffs or other things will be imposed on those products for environmental reasons. So that whole trade issue for developing countries is a very important one, and we'll be making further progress on that.
Yo quisiera felicitarlos ampliamente. Yo quisiera que muchas personas como ustedes en nuestro país tuvieran esa preparación y esa calidad profesional y esa calidez como mexicanos. Un evento de esta naturaleza requiere de mucha planificación, requiere de un equipo muy importante, tanto por la parte del Centro de Convenciones como del equipo personal del instituto, y también requiere de una colaboración del sector público. Hemos recibido un apoyo realmente incondicional del gobierno del Estado, también hemos recibido un apoyo del gobierno local y también por parte del gobierno federal.
I'm just so grateful for for Mercedes, who I think you interviewed before, and the others from the Mexican Standards Association. They have provided real leadership here in Mexico, which is very important to your country. But more than that, they have provided real leadership worldwide in terms of working with all of us on the ISO program. And I think Mexicans should be very proud of the contribution that Mercedes and the others are making right now to this world movement.